some of the things that Tegra 4 brings to bear are naturally much more performance with respect to shaders for the sake of special effects. Overall, the developers, as they've migrated from Tegra 2 to Tegra 3, have proven that they can really easily rise to the occasion of being handed hardware that's 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x faster than the previous generation. The other great thing is, because so many of our developers that we work with also have their roots within PC and traditional console, developing for RSX, the NVIDIA RSX chip that's in the PlayStation 3 and things like that. A lot of these guys over the last few years have been waiting with bated breath, for a home to use their higher resolution textures, their higher resolution meshes, as well as their shaders that require more performance out of a device. So they're really ready to go on this thing.
So how are Tegra 4 developers taking advantage of Project Shield?
So Tegra 4 developers are really looking at Project Shield largely as a reference device for Tegra 4 development in general. One of the big advantages that developers have is that writing a game for Project Shield is not writing a game for a single piece of hardware like one would for a portable platform from another consumer electronics manufacturer. You write a game for Project Shield. The other great part about it is you're writing it fundamentally for Tegra 4 and the tens of millions of devices that are going to ship very quickly. Project Shield really winds up being a catalyst for all of that other Tegra 4 development.
And how is NVIDIA working with PC game developers when it comes to Project Shield?
So NVIDIA's interactions with the PC development community in general are sort of twofold. Number one, because of the much better performance that Project Shield has compared to your typical Android device, and likewise Tegra 4 in general, the better performance that it has compared to existing mobile devices, really liberates their content. And rather than building stripped down, dummied down games for least common denominator mobile devices, they can take their high resolution textures, they can take their high resolution meshes, the actual 3D geometry, which we've been working with developers all since the very early days of Fruit Ninja, where the fruit on Tegra just looks overall better. And the same winds up being said for adapting games and moving games from PC x86 over to Tegra devices. But the other spin on it is on the PC side, between GeForce Grid as well as some of the other things that we showed during our demo with respect to Valve's big picture gaming. The fact that a developer is going to be probably more inclined to thinking about handheld game controllers as they make their PC games now, ever more than before, we think is going to be a really great thing for the PC gaming market, because what we're really effectively doing is increasing the number of screens that can handle PC content.
What opportunities does Shield open up with this connecting to PC and mobile devices and Android games?
One of the other big advantages that Project Shield affords developers, both on the PC as well as Android side, is for their heavy duty rendering that needs to be done, whether it winds up being done on a consumer's desktop PC, or on GeForce Grid on the back end, we see that because of that synergy, there's going to be a lot more opportunity for developers to make games that are cross-platform experiences, where when you're on the go, you're going to be playing the game within a native Android, Tegra 4 experience, but when you do have access to the internet and you can get to either your PC because you're in your house, or you've got access to GeForce Grid on the back end, you wind up having the advantage there of being able to play the richer, higher quality rendered experience.
And what excites you about the future for Tegra 4 and Shield?
Well, the most exciting part, as we've said previously, this is really just the beginning. Tegra 4 shows that, now after having done Tegra 2, Tegra 3, and now Tegra 4, NVIDIA is certainly in it for the long haul. We've proven that we can produce new generations of architecture on a really, really fast turnaround. From a developer standpoint, it's very, very liberating because it allows them to sink their teeth into new hardware that's completely backward compatible on a regular basis. But most importantly, for the end user, whether they're a mass market casual user or a hardcore gamer, it allows them to have a real reason to see new updates of their favorite games on a regular basis, where the update of the game isn't just another level, an extra level, little incremental stuff. From an overall experiential standpoint, it can be a pretty massive update, on every 12 to 18 months, and we think that's what the consumers really, really want.